Hello, Saints. This is your boy Brian here. I'm so happy to be back again with this segment and broadcast it to you. I hope that you are keeping well, you are keeping safe, you are being victorious wherever you are in the four corners of the world. Thank you so much for joining me in this broadcast where I'll be dealing with prophetic mysteries, unearthing prophetic mysteries, and the subheading is the prophetic realm. In the prophetic realm, I said and articulated that we have got 5 realms in the prophetic realm, and the first realm is forensic prophecy. The second realm is typological prophecy. The third realm is the dramatic prophecy. The fourth realm is enigmatic prophecy or dual prophecy, and the last realm is artistic prophecy. And today I will be dealing with the first realm of forensic prophecy. And as I told you that I will always be your knowledge curator, try by all means to curate knowledge to you in this 21st century. We are living in a technology era as well as information era, and this is an apostolic era that we are in, the 21st century. And I want you not to be confused and to be ignorant, because if you're ignorant, you will be like the people that Solomon spoke about, that there is an era under the sun. And this era that I saw is that I saw kings and princes, they were walking on foot, yet servants, they were riding on horses. So when you're dealing with forensic prophecy, and trying to, as I always tell you, that the reason why I'm so elated to be bringing this broadcast and segments to you is that the lessons that I'm giving unto you, they are definitive as opposed to descriptive. So this theological module of prophecy is so much definitive. So when you're dealing with the definitive information, what you only need to do is to give information. You don't have to describe anything. So I'm here to upset the equilibrium of your prophecy. So after upset the equilibrium of your prophecy, I will start to bring now information and try to formulate something that is going to be impactful and helpful to you. What is forensic? Before we get into forensic prophecy, according to different definitions, and to my definition, forensic, it relates to the use of science and technology in the investigation and establishment of facts or evidence. It relates to the use of science and technology in the investigation and establishment of facts or evidence. And another definition of forensic is something approvable litigiously and with legal connotation, something that is approvable litigiously and with a legal connotation. So if something is approved in through litigation and with a legal touch or connotation, it's forensic. And today we will be dealing with forensic prophecy. And what is this forensic prophecy? How can I operate in this realm? How can I attain in this realm? And who is the incumbent to operate in this realm? Every believer can operate in this realm. It's a realm that is open and availed to every believer. So as long you have received Christ, you have believed in your heart and confessed with your mouth that he has come down, he died, and he resurrected on the third day, he ascended and he was glorified, he seated at the right hand of power, you are in God's class, and you are a candidate and an incumbent to operate in the realm of forensic prophecy. This realm in the prophetic, this is a realm in the prophetic, forensic prophecy. It's a realm in the prophetic. It's a realm in the prophetic. I want you to understand that it's not a ministry, forensic prophecy. It's a realm in prophetic ministry. This is a realm in the prophetic in which an individual operating in the prophetic dimension. It's a realm in the prophetic in which an individual, not a prophet or an apostle or a pastor or an evangelist, an individual operating in the prophetic dimension reviews accurate, reviews precise, secretive information. There will be accurate, precise, very astoundingly and astonishingly baffling, secretive, and microscopic details about a person. So the details, they become so microscopic that you bring unto people, as we said in our definition, that it relates to the science and technology and the investigation and establishment of facts of evidence. So when I operate in this dimension of forensic prophecy, I start to review things that are accurate, precise, things that are secretive, and things that are so microscopic. When we are dealing with things that are microscopic, these are details about the life of other person, such as one name, residential address, cell phone numbers, bank accounts, car plates numbers, work position, age, names of relatives, cities that person comes from, countries where they are coming from. It's all pertinent details that would have been impossible for anybody to know under normal circumstances. You start going to unveil, to expose, to smoke out information that are secretive, information that are concealed to a normal person, or things that are secretive under a normal circumstance. So the details that you start now to project and to promulgate, they becomes, they are detailed, secretive, to an extent that the person that you are talking to, they will become so baffled, astonished, and amazed, perplexed with the depth of information. But who can operate in this dimension and this realm? You can operate. I can operate in this dimension and this realm, and you don't need money to operate. You don't need to fly to Nigeria. You don't need to fly to Ghana. You don't need to fly to Benin for you to operate in it. You need only to be informed on how to operate in this dimension. So this one now, this is the highest spiritual dimension in which a believer is catapulted. It's the highest spiritual dimension in which a believer can be catapulted. A believer can be catapulted. Highest dimension in which a believer can be catapulted into the higher realms of the prophetic accuracy. You will not miss. You prophesy accurately, with surgicality, with precision. You will not miss. To the extent now of revealing microscopic details of people, you have, the ability, the frequency, and the God-given ability and capability, as well as proficiency to reveal microscopic details of people, cities, nations, and other geographical territories. So we want to substantiate this revelation now. We want to substantiate it with some evidence, and the evidence that we are going to use this as scriptural evidence. And one of the scriptures that we are going to look at is e.t.c. chapter 9 subsection 10. And the Bible reads like so: and there was a certain disciple at Damascus named Ananias, and to him said the Lord in a vision, Ananias. And he said, Behold, I'm here, Lord. And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go into the street which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judas for one called Saul of Tarsus, for behold, he prayeth. And he hath seen in a vision a man named Ananias coming in and putting his hand on him, that he might receive his sight. So now, on this scripture that we have looked at Acts chapter 9 subsection 10, there's something to note, something that is very important, essential, and significant. And we are going now to unveil and review and expose the things that we have noted there. The first thing that we have noted is that when Jesus told Ananias to go and pray for Saul, he told him the following accurate details, microscopic details about him. The first thing, he mentioned Saul's name. Secondly, he mentioned the city of Judas, the city where he was coming from, Saul, which is Tarsus. Thirdly, he mentioned the street that is called the Straight. Fourthly, the house of Judas. Fifthly, what Paul was doing at that particular time, he was praying. Sixthly, what Saul had seen in a vision. And this now quintessential example of forensic prophecy, it shows us that it did not start with the people of today who are calling them the pioneers of prophecy. It started with God, because everything that we do under the sun has been done somewhere. That's why Solomon said, vanity is vanity and all is vanity, and everything that you see under the sun has ever been done, and it has happened before. So it's Jesus Christ who was speaking to Ananias and giving him microscopic details, forensic information, accurate surgical information about a man called Saul. So this realm of forensic prophecy is the realm in which a lot of people of today, preachers of today, they are endeavoring to operate into. And it is the one that has necessitated Google prophecies, that has necessitated Facebook prophecies, that has necessitated different mechanisms and different instruments that people use to usurp people's information so that they may be related to this dimension of forensic prophecy. It's one of the most important dimensions, and it's a dimension that when you operate in, you will start to attain relevance in your generation, and every eye will be on you. It will increase your number in your church. It will increase even your revenue. It will even make your name to be known without even working so hard. That's why there is this now pressure for people to operate under forensic prophecy. But there's nothing much that is fussy in this dimension, because in as much as you can tell people their birth date, their names, their cities, their countries, things that are detailed, their inner garments, things that they've eaten. At the end of the day, the ultimate solution should be to give solution to the people that are prophesying. After you prophesy me all these things and I am passing through difficulties, the ultimate or quintessential result must bring me to a place of deliverance. Because the moment we expose you with this information and we don't bring it to a place of deliverance or a place of protection, the devil will come and will attack you, and the devil will come and capitalize on the information that we have told you. So this is a quintessential example of forensic prophecy. What will happen after he lays hands on him, receiving his sight. That was detailed. So if now you were against the prophecy, and if maybe you were not really believing that they can be people who can see things or zoom things prophetically, this is one of the quintessential example that you can use. So if you're against the prophecy whereby God can call people by names, addresses, house numbers, account numbers, car plate numbers, age, work position, their specific problems, and solving their problems, then no, you are against God's method of doing things. So this is one of the methods that God can use to do things when he wants to do things, and he does not ask people when he wants to do things. So as you operate in this forensic prophecy, what you just need to do, there must be prayer, because God reveals himself to a person, and to a person who prays. And there's another free nugget that I want to give unto you. After we expose information forensically, surgically, with precision, we need now to bring solution, because prophecy must not end in giving information. It must give a solution. Why? Because every prophetic word, it exposes people, or it exposes you to three dimensions. The first dimension a prophet exposes you is the dimension of man, where that prophecy has been pronounced or promulgated, which means if the prophecy has been is spoken or has been exposed in a church, you are exposed to the church people that were listening to that prophecy. Which means if I prophesy to you and say that I see you getting 1 billion rand in your account in 2 weeks to come, the people, if they were 100 or 200 people, I've exposed you to those people, which means I've exposed a billionaire to those people. If I say you are suffering from the demon of poverty, I've exposed you again to 100 people that you carry a demon of poverty. And the third level in which forensic prophecy exposes is the dimension of demons, dimension of the devil, which means the devil can hear your information as well. And the third level that a prophecy can expose a person to or publishes a person to is a godly or a dimension of sovereignty, where God dwells, and that dimension is the dimension of possibilities, where when your prophecy is promulgated or adjudicated or disseminated to you and it reaches the sovereign dimension, what has been prophesied, if I've prophesied healing upon you, and if I've prophesied a company, angels that are operative in this sovereign dimension, they'll run around to make sure that you establish your company. And the dimension that I want to give a little bit of embellishment or enhance is the dimension of demons. This dimension now is one of the most delicate dimension. This is the same dimension which Apostle Paul said unto Timothy, that Timothy, my son, because of a lot of prophecies that were spoken to you, I want you to pray so much. I want you to fast. I want you to contend and fight for those prophecies, because a lot of adversities has been attracted and has been brought unto you, which means prophecy, it attracts adversity. And where do those adversities come from? They come from the dimensions of demons. They come from the dimensions of the devil. So you need to rise up as a child of God and start to pray and contend for that prophetic word so that it may come to pass. Thank you so much for listening to this broadcast. I hope that you've been helped with this information, with this theology that I brought unto you, with this understanding that I have imparted in our spirit. And I hope that as you are operating in the places of your callings, in your dimension of callings that God has called you into, you start to operate with understanding, with knowledge, with wisdom, with understanding. Wisdom is a principal thing, but in all thy getting, you have to get understanding. Catch me again for another segment. God bless.